All right, good evening, Maples Church. If you'll give me just 1 second, I want to make sure that we are live and that I can be seen and heard and all of those good things. It's always good for us to check those things. Let's take a look here. All right, there's my voice. Okay. Well, welcome to this edition of Maples Connect. As you can see, I'm flying solo tonight. Stephen has another matter to attend to. So you are stuck with me. Hope that's okay. I hope you don't feel the need to tune out just because it's me. I'm just kidding. It is a pleasure to be with y'all on this looks like a rainy afternoon. It's been a busy day here at the church, and we're getting near the end of another day. Before we begin Maples Connect, I want to start with our devotion for today. And as you all know, this past Sunday, if you tuned in, we were talking about focus and focusing on God and placing our focus on Jesus. And that was the theme of our virtual vacation Bible school that we just concluded almost a week ago. And you know, those lessons, yes, I know they're designed for elementary school kids, but, you know, there's a lot of theology that can be learned from curriculum for kids. Just take my word for that as a former teacher. Today was day 3 of this week, and today the question is, Peter says that Jesus is the Messiah, and we're going to go into Matthew's Gospel, and I'm going to be reading from chapter 16, verses 13 through 20. But actually, I want to stop after verse, let's see, I think it is verse 18, and then I'm going to finish with 19 and 20. So I'm going to be reading out of the New Living Translation today, Matthew 16, verse 13 through 18, and then I'll do 19 and 20. When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" "Well," they replied, "some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, and others say Jeremiah or one of the other prophets." Then he asked them, "But who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Jesus replied, "You are blessed, Simon, son of John, because my Father in heaven has revealed this to you. You did not learn this from any human being. Now I say to you that you are Peter," which means rock, "and upon this rock I will build my church, and all the powers of hell will not conquer it." I'm going to resume with that passage here in just a minute. But since we're talking about focus, I thought I would focus on a little bit different part of this particular scripture passage. These are my keys. Oh, how I love my keys. I am, you could tell I'm an old ball coach because I always wear my keys on a lanyard. Mainly because I don't know what I would do without them. And I've always had keys. And you don't leave home without your keys. And you always make sure you have your keys. "Hey, honey, have you seen my keys?" "Where are my keys?" "Have you seen my keys?" "Lydia, do you know where my keys are?" Our keys are everything to us. Well, that all changed for yours truly in March of 2018. And I remember the exact day. It was March 30th, 2018. I was coaching softball at the high school back then, and it was time to mow the grass because we had a game the next day. And so I have my keys in my pocket. I had a red lanyard at that time, and you know, this part here hangs out of your pocket, right? So I have my keys put in my pocket. I'm on the zero-turn riding mower, cutting the grass out there because it was just something I like to do. Sitting there cutting the beautiful field, and actually this wasn't even on the softball field itself. This was cutting on the side areas. And then all of a sudden I heard this horrific sound. And it sounded like shrapnel. I mean, it sounded like I had run over an Oldsmobile. I mean, it sounded awful. I mean, I cut the mower off and I went to look at what it was, and I really couldn't see anything. I reached in my pocket to get my keys, and they weren't there. So, what had happened was, so I looked around the area, scouted around, and I saw every single key that I owned and the lanyard completely shredded into a million pieces. Keys to my car, keys to my wife's car, keys to my house, keys to my classroom. All my keys were shredded. And I can remember just how helpless I felt. It's hard to recall another time in life when I have felt more helpless, when I had absolutely no keys. So I had to retrace my steps. I had to go figure out, well, do I have any spares? Do I have, do I have any other keys? Do I have backup keys? And you would think somebody like me who carries their keys on a lanyard, you would have backup keys. I had keys destroyed that I don't even remember what locks they went to. Oh, my word. And you know what I had a chance to do? I had a chance to rebuild my keychain. Taking some of Rosemary's keys, I went to Home Depot, copied some new keys, and little by little, I kind of built my keychain back up. But I always think about those little bitty keys, and I mean like file cabinet keys, doors that long forgotten. All of that was destroyed in that accident. I'll never, ever forget it. It's amazing how important something like our keys are to us. I think by having all those keys, maybe I was focused on the wrong thing. And I'm going to pick back up in chapter 16, now with verses 19 and 20. And this is Jesus speaking. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Now, what's interesting about that is that Jesus says, you are blessed. And he's talking to Simon Peter. And, it says, you didn't learn this from any human being. I say to you that you are Peter. So Jesus revealing himself to Peter, but also revealing Peter to everybody else. And there's where I'll build my church, and all the powers of evil will not conquer it. And I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. There's been a lot of debate about what that line actually means. Because back, there was a time when the church authorities were said to have the keys, that these are the keys to carry out church discipline, or these are the keys, that can be misused to bring about false doctrine about who Jesus is. But you know what these keys really are? The keys that Christ is referring to in verse 19, these are the keys that are the opportunity for us to lead people into God's kingdom. I felt helpless when I didn't have a single key to get into my own home. So imagine the relief I had when I finally had a key that would open the door and let me in. That's what God gives us. If we focus on Christ and we focus on everything that God has for us, those keys, those are the only keys that are more important. Those are the keys that cannot get destroyed even by a John Deere zero-turn riding lawnmower. Continue in verse 19. Whatever you forbid on earth will be forbidden in heaven, and whatever you permit on earth will be permitted in heaven. Then he sternly warned the disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. You ever wonder why that was? Why does he give the keys to heaven to Peter? and then to us. And why not tell the disciples not to tell anyone? And the reason is this, is because Christ is coming. He came back then not as one would think a king comes down, as a military commander. You got to remember, in those days, military commanders and kings were often the same people. I mean, look at the name of the city that he came to, Caesarea Philippi. It's named after Emperor Philip, as well as Caesar. So there's an authoritarian title to the very town that he is, which is why having that much publicity was not what was desired. They didn't fully understand the kind of Messiah that he'd come to be. They needed to come to a full understanding of who Jesus was, and what their mission as disciples were, before they could proclaim it to others in a way that wouldn't cause a rebellion, which is something you didn't want to do in a place that had Greco-Roman influence like Caesarea did. But the point of this is, the focus message to me is that, once again, trusting with, sometimes we always need to trust in what we can't see because of what we can see. Let's pray. Father God, we give you thanks for the keys. We give you thanks that you have built your church on the solid rock. And we give you thanks that we have the opportunity, through your grace, through your unmerited grace, to do your work. To do your work here on earth for the interests and the glorification of the kingdom. God, the keys you give us are the opportunity to bring people within to the kingdom. Nobody gets locked out, Father. Father, may we take the focus off of the things of this world which have trifling meanings, Father, and put our trust wholly in you. Because, God, we know that only from trusting in you will we ever have true peace. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, well, this is Maples Connect, so let me go over a few things. Let me start by asking this, and the main question is, how is it with your soul? This is a question that that I always want to start with, so if you feel free to comment in the comment section, I'll be monitoring those here on my other device. I'm coming to you from the sanctuary today, and let me just run down a few things here. I won't try to keep you on too long today. But first of all, like I mentioned in the devotion, VBS was an absolute success. If you look behind me, if you focus behind me on all the items that we have had donated to the Olive Branch Food Pantry, those are going to make their way to the food pantry in the next day or two. It has been an amazing thing, and we just want to say thank you to everybody who volunteered. Thank you especially to Sarah Kirchhoff, our children's coordinator. Big thank you to Brennan Ballard, our new media director, and Joel Garrett, Max Oswalt, Joey Lott, who did the music, the Roman family, and the Kirchhoff family for supporting us in all these different ways, the Wilsons, who helped us out with games, and all the countless volunteers that brought in supplies. And the beauty of VBS is that we can now actually say, hey, if you missed it, go back and watch it. We still have it. So that's really awesome. So I hope you still will take advantage of that. We still have plenty of bags left. So if you need one for your kid to do on a nice long rainy day, we have about, close to 7 hours worth of content that'll keep them busy, especially with those really cool crafts. So we really appreciate it. I have breaking news for you. This is really, really, really new because this is just coming out today. In the next day or two, and I think maybe there already is a Facebook post that may have happened while I was talking, we are doing a prayer vigil for our law enforcement community. Now, this prayer vigil is going to work like this. You will be, for 24 hours, starting at 10:30 a.m. Saturday, 24 hours until 10:30 a.m. Sunday from the time worship starts. Any 30-minute slot within that 24 hours, there is a Sign Up Genius link that you're going to get in your email, and it'll be here on Facebook, and like I said, it may already be, where you can sign up for a 30-minute slot where you will be adopting a law enforcement officer and you will be praying for them during those 30 minutes. This is absolutely an absolutely wonderful thing to keep this. It's a prayer chain. I don't know if you've ever done those before, but prayer chains is where, and folks, your prayer time, I said 24 hours, so you may have a prayer time from 2:30 to 3 in the morning. So if you want to, if you're up, if you have insomnia, or if you're one of those past midnight snackers, like I have been before, no shame, that might be a good time for you to find your favorite place where you pray, and let's lift up our law enforcement officers. They are doing so much. They've gone through a lot going on in the country right now, but we don't want to forget because they are really the backbone of our community in trying to keep us safe. And so that's for all law enforcement. And next week, we're going to treat them with a meal. So that's going to be exciting as well. So please be on the lookout for that, and please, please, please sign up for a 30-minute prayer time. You don't have to leave the comfort of your own home. You just pray and pray for their well-being, praying for their safety, praying for their families, and praying even for those that make their jobs a lot harder than it should be. So you'll be getting all of that in your email, as well as some other information here in your email. And if you're not getting our constant contact emails, please comment down below, and I will add you to the list to make sure you get Maple's emails sent right to your inbox. So good stuff. So anyway, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Let's see what else we've got going on. Oh, Sunday, we've got Annie. This is the handout that if you were in-person worship on Sunday that we gave out promoting the movie Annie. We are starting a new summer series, Maples at the Movies. And so there's going to be some elements of the film that Stephen is going to be preaching on. And the first feature we're going to do is Annie. Now, because some of these films throughout the month of July are a little bit longer than others, we are going to show, obviously there's some movies that are very, very, very long. I'm thankful that we're not doing a Ben-Hur, because that uncut version of that movie is 7 hours long, which means that would be a really, really, really long time. But anyway, Annie is going to be shown in our parking lot over there on the YMCA side, Sunday from 8 to 10. And we ask that you bring your lawn chair, bring your own drinks, and please remember we're keeping the social distance thing going on. But if I'm not mistaken here, it does say, I'm reading this right, real movie popcorn is provided. Now, who doesn't love real movie popcorn? This is the place to come see a movie. So make plans. Sunday night should be a nice gathering. Hopefully the weather will cooperate, but should be a really great time. Something else coming up that I want to mention, and that is I mentioned Brennan earlier. Brennan is our new media director, and Brennan is requesting some volunteers. So if you should have gotten an email about this as well, and you'll see more about it on our announcements page. And that is, if you are interested in helping out with our broadcast crew, our audio-visual team, and when I say broadcast crew, that does not mean you are in front of the camera like I am right now. It means you are behind the camera, behind the scenes. And we need more help because Brennan is having a hard time being in two places at once because we now have our 9:30 worship service down in Wesley Hall, and then we start our 10:30 worship service, so he's running back and forth. For those of y'all that don't know Brennan, please be in the lookout in your Wingspan, which should go out in the mail in the next couple of days. His little biography is going to be in there, and it's And it's really cool. Brennan, it's just such a cool story that he's here. But he would like some help. So if you are interested in that, we've got a training event and dinner. You heard me, dinner, food, like food is provided. And mark your calendars for July the 9th. That is next Thursday. That's a week from tomorrow at 6 p.m. And it's going to be right here in the sanctuary. We'll probably eat, though, in room 118. Again, we're practicing all the social distancing guidelines that we've been doing. We're going to have a little box dinner, Subway or something like that. But if you have, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have any experience. You could be any age. If you can push a button, if you can follow directions, and if you want to see how the virtual campus is really put together, I strongly encourage you to sign up. There is a link. If you'll scroll down our Facebook page, a couple of videos down, you'll see it. There's a sign-up page where you can click on sign up and sign up so that we can reserve your meal for you. Training shouldn't take more than a couple of hours, if that long. But we really, really would need help because this virtual campus is growing, considering isolation is and quarantining is still a thing, and probably now more than ever. So please remember July 9th at 6 o'clock is that training. Also, speaking of the virtual campus, we have, we're trying to reach y'all in as many different platforms as we can. We're on Facebook Live right now. This video will be uploaded to YouTube a little bit later for you to go back and watch. But we also have a Church Remind account. Now, for those of y'all that are parents, I know what you're thinking. Uh-oh, here we go. Another Remind. Another Remind. For those of y'all that don't know what Remind is, it is an instant text message notification system that we have here at Maples. Again, if you have kids in school, their teachers love to send a lot of reminds. We're not going to blow up your Remind for you, but we do want to use it as a tool to remind. So if you are the texting type and you like to receive text messages for updates and things like that, I'm going to invite you to right now take out your cell phones, go to your text message, where you're going to send a text, and I need you to do this. I need you to text this line right here, at Maples Chew. It was supposed to say church, but it got cut off. Maples Chew. And the number you're going to send that to is this one, 81010. All you do is text this to 81010, and many of y'all are already on our Remind. We started this a good year and a half ago, but I think it was time to promote it again, just to get, we've had several people join in a while, and so this will keep you up to date with all the information about the church. Text it to 81010. If you are a parent and you have the Remind app, then I would just invite you to search for our code right there at Maples Chew and get added that way. This way it'll keep you informed of everything that's going on, things that are imminent. If we have to bring you any updates, good news or just news in general, I invite you to sign up for our church Remind. So I'm going to hold that up for a few more seconds because my arm is starting to get just a little tired. And there you go. I don't know why I did that. You could have just paused. But oh well. So last couple more things, and then I'll be out of your hair. As you all know, the city of Olive Branch decided that this year they will not be doing their 4th of July fireworks at OB City Park, and as such, we will not be having a 4th of July event here on Saturday. So that's very sad as that is. It's just the way things are right now. I would encourage y'all to have a safe 4th of July weekend and just be diligent so we can beat this virus. I'm going to start talking about this now, even though this doesn't happen for exactly 1 month from today, but it's important that we promote this. I'm kind of an ex officio member of the Maples Men's Club, and August the 1st, it is already time for the Leon Turpin Memorial Golf Tournament. And this year, that is going to be held on August the 1st Shotgun start at 7 a.m. And let me just tell you what this golf tournament does. It benefits, it underwrites scholarships for our active youth, for all our active youth here at Maples. This is a scholarship that is for them. And this golf tournament helps us raise money for that. The price is, of course, I think it's a team of 4. Price is $85 a player. But what we really look for are hole sponsors. So hear me out on this. Hole sponsors, you can sponsor a hole for $100. For $100, you can sponsor a hole. Now, this could be your company, it could be your business, your corporation, the place you work. If you are self-employed, if you are a business owner, you can sponsor a hole for $100. You don't even have to be a business. You can be a Sunday school class. You can be a family. You can be you. It doesn't matter. But $100 for a hole sponsor. You will see an insert, and actually I think we already had an insert in the bulletin this past Sunday. And it'll be in our bulletins the next couple of Sundays. We will probably also do an online registration for that as well. But for more information, you can call Jane in the church office, and our number is 662-895-2279, and we can get you registered that way. Breakfast is provided by Sonic, my good friends over at Sonic, and I believe lunch is provided by Fazoli's. So great things. It's a great event. I know it's hot out, but if you want to stay in the air conditioning and still support a great cause, then you can always just sponsor a hole. But either way, we'd love to have you and your team and your company take part in the Leon Turpin Memorial Golf Tournament. Again, that's going to be at Cherokee Valley, August the 1st. Shotgun start at 7 o'clock. And last but not least, we have, it's still softball season, church league softball season. I've been to a couple of games. If you want to come out and see our boys play softball, they're playing tomorrow night at 7:40 against First Baptist. This is a big rivalry right there. Should be good. It's like Cubs, Cardinals, right? Yankees, Red Sox, yeah. And it's Maples, First Baptist. So that's at 7:40. And that's either going to be on field 9, 10, or 11. So just look for the guys in the red shirts, red uniforms. And then they're playing again at 8:50, although I do not have down what opponent that is. So they have a doubleheader tomorrow night. So I invite you to come out. Hopefully the weather will cooperate, and we'll be able to come see our boys play softball. It's always a good time. So let me scroll down my video feed here to make sure. It looks like hopefully everybody's doing okay. We are, I had asked you when we started, how is it with your soul? Here at Maples, we are chugging through, we are navigating some interesting waters, but we're not doing it alone. God is with us. Sometimes it seems like, you might be navigating still waters, and you just never know when there's an alligator. This COVID virus has us all on edge. Anxiety is there. I know parents are starting to be very much on edge about the start of the school year with the ramp up in cases and with the start of the school year just a little over a month away. I know, I can't believe it. I know everybody's we're antsy, we're kind of sitting and we're waiting, and we're just not sure what the next thing is going to be. I would like to encourage you not to keep that to yourself, your anxieties, because we're all feeling it. We're all in the same boat. We're all on the same team. I encourage you to talk to somebody. I'm actually in the same boat with you. I've got 2 kids I've got one that's a senior this year, and I would like for him to start his school year as normal as possible, and I would like for him to finish as normal as possible, but then again, I also want him to be healthy and to be smart about it. Same thing for my daughter, So we're all facing this. We're all facing this together, especially those of us that are parents. But even if you're, even if your kids are grown and you're facing this with maybe with an aging parent or some other relative, this is a tough time. So we gotta start checking our mental health a little bit and making sure that we are staying physically, spiritually, and emotionally healthy. And that's tough to do if you keep it to yourself. So I encourage you to talk to somebody. If you really need somebody else to talk to, you can call Stephen, call me. we'll be happy to talk with you, talk you through this, because like I said, we're going through it right with you, and it's better if we reach our destination together. So in the words of John Bon Jovi, we're halfway there, and we're living on a prayer. So I want to thank y'all for joining me tonight on this solo version of Maples Connect. I hope to see y'all again Sunday, whether it's in person or on our online campus. Remember, now and forever, God is in control. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. See you later.